Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with the Zerg player ranked #1 in the world by Dark. The red is the final boss. It's Dark. Up against his eternal nemesis, not the Protoss we deserve, but the one we need right now. The smiling assassin. It's hero. A best of 5 Protoss versus Zerg finals, where once again we can expect a little bit of drama, a little bit of chaos, and a bit of excitement, which you'll hopefully find when you like and subscribe. And Jimmy, what are we? It was pretty smooth. 1,320 likes on this video, on this cast, on this finals. I'll cast another one. And I'll probably do it anyways. I don't know what else I would do with my life. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get a little bit better than the probes in herO's Natural as Dark somehow gets in past the wall. Not the most uncommon occurrence as the border protections at herO's base. Well, they ask for papers, please, and the Zerglings, without hands, except the Brood War ones that have the weird hands on the top. Now, like, in 3D, you can really notice what's going on with that. Anyways, moving on. Grab your emotional support Zergling today, because it's probably going to need the help. Void Ray. Wow, we're really off track to start. But so is hero, with a Void Ray first and an Oracle behind. Meanwhile, Dark, 10 Zerglings on the field. Void Ray scouring for Overlords, not finding any. And it is just your basic early defense. 3 Adepts at the wall, looking for a third base. Dark was forced to take the his third base on location. As the probe blocked early on, Void Ray going to take out one of the Ovis. But while it's a more costly start, it is more guaranteed to deny that early scouting. Of course, Dark is making up for any lack of Overlord scouting by simply murdering all the units on the ground and forcing a much more direct response, which includes the Oracle coming back, despite the fact the Void Ray is halfway across the map right now, just ignoring the domestic needs of the Zerg. So, a Void Ray, an Oracle, and now the Adepts are coming across to join him. 2, 3 Queens here. Gets the Creep Tumor. There's still enough Zerglings. Even more Queens coming down. Adepts. Ooh, might have had an opportunity to shade into the natural, but enough Zerglings out there. Dark at 44 drones with 6 more on the way. Hero will complete his 3rd Nexus. Twilight Council to follow it up. +1 melee for Dark as we go into that mass laying versus... Well, he's not building a forge, which makes me think this could be Glaives as a follow-up here, though he is mining from 4 gases. Just a blink, but no forge, so a blink timing is on the agenda for hero. Blink Stalkers are back in style. You'd have to be blind to miss it. As hero and other Protoss, but mostly hero, have really been leaning on them for the mid-game, a lot more so than really any sort of other Twilight Council tech. Occasionally we'll get a charge lot timing, throw some Dark Templar in there, but it's always dangerous to make a shrine to Dark when he's on the other side of the map. 26 more Lings in production. Adept's gonna be surrounded. Oracles find the high ground, burn through some drones. 5 of them dead so far. The Queen's still pushing them away. But Dark only has 48 drones right now, and he's going to be dealing with an immediate follow-up of Blink Stalkers. And this could very well hit a timing before Dark has any sort of tech besides Zerglings. Zerglings can do perfectly fine against Blink Stalkers. But if hero is prepared with those Stargate units overhead, it's going to become a lot harder for the Zerglings to get critical damage. It's a lot easier, though, when there's nothing but, well, the Oracles are enough to drive away the Lings, and it becomes a little suspicious where are the rest of the units. He's found them out on the map. Still a bit unclear who's flanking who as the Oracles are chasing. Surprised he doesn't slap a Revelation on him. Probably building up that energy to maximize it. Hero's got 6 gates done. He stopped building probes. He's looking to warp in. He's even got a proxy pylon ready to warp in more units across the map. He is getting +1 ground weapons. But starting things off, Blink's in, but the Zerglings are able to get something of a surround. Caught between a rock and a hard place, though, are the rest of the Lings of the Queens trying to come down the ramp, having a tough go of it. And hero actually has more economy. He's going to try to counter this with Banelings? I mean, you work with what you have. And Queenslings and Banes are the extent of it. I think hero is really just pressing this timing so quickly that Dark had nothing else to respond. Oh, big stasis. And that means hero's able to dictate the pace of this game. That stasis was absolutely clutch. More banelings into the... He gets 9 probes, which evens the odds economically. But now, Dark has to deal with the units on the front door. The Queen started to take a lot of damage here. Another stasis at the back. Zergling's coming out of stasis, gonna look to surround. He spotted the other one. Baneling speed, not even halfway done. But those probe kills could make all the difference. A forward shield battery push. There's no more in the way of stasis ward. Zergling's coming down the ramp. Baneling's waddling through. Still a threat, but as the oracles light up, the shield batteries kick in and the stalkers spread out. It's who's surrounding who. He blocks on top, and just like that, GG, game 1 goes to hero. What a decisive victory there to start things off. Wow. Hero with a perfectly executed, okay, acceptably executed blink timing. I think Dark was winding up to deal with the +1 blink, but because he skipped the +1 ground weapons, means hero got more stalkers more quickly. And Dark, kind of dilly-dallying around with the Zerglings early, ended up not having any sort of lair tech to deal with it. Which, against the +1 blink with just melee, it's okay. You might have enough links, but hero hits so hard, so fast, that Dark not able to respond to it. But as you know, fool me once, and I won't get fooled again. I believe Dark said that in a press conference a long time ago. So, hero with a strong game 1 on a small rush distance map. Oceanborn is a bit more macro-oriented. I expect to see a little bit later game potential, but these two do nothing if not subvert expectations. So, a remarkably, well, relatively standard game 1. Those shield batteries and the stalkers doing more than enough. And the real question is, how do you deal with it without Zergs? Because if you go for roaches, those aren't a particularly incredible counter. Yeah, the probe and drones competing over the minerals there, trying to seduce them. We're not doing that today. We're not doing that bit today. All right, we don't have time. We got to talk about how relatively simple but incredibly well done that Blink All-In was. And I'm going to call it an all-in because if it hadn't worked, Dark already had 4 bases. He was working on +2 melee. He had plenty of production. So hero needed to do damage there. So many times, Protoss maybe get a bit carried away with building the rest of the tech and then attacking. But the timings are thin. The difference between 60 Zerglings and 20 Zerglings is sometimes less than 30 seconds. So, hero hitting as fast as he did. Also, there's the meta mind game. Okay, sorry, Mark. But the meta mind game, which is these two in general. Like, neither player doing exactly what is expected of them because they know that their opponent is expecting what's expected. So they do the unexpected, but because the no. Sorry. But they've played each other literally hundreds of times in tournaments, and who knows how much more in practice. And, where else would they play? The ladder, I guess, but does that count as practice? I think so. Most players treat it as such. Though they're no longer on the same... By the way, Dark and Hero, together, have won the highest profile 2v2 tournament over, I believe it was Cyril and Oliveira, which was kind of an unlikely combo team. But these two have won the highest profile 2v2 tournament in years. I believe it was $10,000 or something on the line from World Team League last year. So, not only, probably #1 frenemies in StarCraft 2. Closely followed by Dark versus everyone else, whether it's Beyond, Cure. Beyond is another one that he goes back and forth with. I think Dark is just the constant villain in these stories here, but he embraces it. That's why he's the final boss. No matter who the player is, he's at the final stage. making things dramatic. It's me, lag! Oh, one of the French casters lagging here. The Korean caster giving quite a emotional response without any words. Everybody's ready to go. We don't wait for anyone here, not even to beg for likes and subscribes. This time it's a much more standard +1 blink timing. Roach Warren is on the way, Lair, and 6 more drones for Dark, which is going to put him over the 60 mark, more than enough to continually produce off 3 hatcheries going on 4. So we'll see how a more typical +1 blink timing fares against a better economically prepared Dark. Did the Oracles even kill a single drone? I was over here pontificating about the dramatic relationship drama of Dark versus everyone else. And I was hoping I wasn't actually missing anything in the game. And so far, 1 drone and 2 Zerglings have died. So, I don't... Most of the drama has been in the production tab and just constantly skirting around the edges so far. As this is about as standard as it gets. If you're looking for a template for how to play this matchup at a relatively high level, the 3 base queens versus the oracles and a depth pressure, and now this is where we usually see some sort of split or where execution really kicks in. Now 6 minutes or so, 6 gates done. Usually you see 8, so interesting that hero. I guess this is a much more economical build than an all-in timing, as he's still building probes. Meanwhile, Dark has speed for his roaches and banelings on the way. Zergling speed, of course, already completed. Tries for another 4th base, but hero, that's it. Slaps it down, gets an overlord on top. Drone heading down towards the 4th base, but the hero just keeps bopping these bases. The oracles looking down on it. So pretentious. Oracles are a very pretentious unit, okay? They're like top 5 most pretentious units in the game. I think battlecruisers also up there. And queens, but that's just a holdover from their royal heritage. Where are we? All right, Roachling Bane. Is there any splash damage from hero? He's just... But, hello? Hero? The banelings are wandering across. That's a lot of stalkers. It's just stalkers, though. He has 23 stalkers and 2 oracles. And the oracles are here too late to deal with the brunt of the banelings. Baneling speed, they're rolling in now. 1 shield better at the back, but he blinks everything, which is going to make it so hard to actually micro away. The banelings ignore the probes in favor of doing extra damage to the stalkers. This is a quantity equals quality situation. Another wave of stalkers warped in. Oracle's drained of energy. And that means the roaches will break through. But hero actually only loses 4 probes so far. The stalkers bunking forward to defend as everyone explodes into action. Dark only has 61 drones to 62 probes. He vetoed going for the probes with the banelings in favor of trying to get an extra wave onto the stalkers to try to break that critical mass. Unfortunately for Dark, it didn't really make the critical difference. The hero is still doing a great job with the blink stalkers, but Zerglings keep streaming across the map. Dark just keeps going. He should eventually be able to break through the stalkers, but hero's blink micro has been immaculate. And he just didn't get the damage done. He's now making more drones, not killing those probes. That's my commentary. Sharp intake of... I don't want to say he messed up, because he didn't make a mistake. It was a happy little accident. Happy for the probes, which means he messed up. All right, he could have gone and killed another dozen probes and backed up, but he wanted it all, and instead, he got so little. It was enough damage to keep hero at bay, but now he's facing down a Protoss with a better economy, who has plenty of production already online, going for a 4th base, +2 ground weapons is done with +1 armor on the way. It doesn't get much easier from here for Dark. He has to rely on hero making a significant mistake, which, you know, is not out of the question. But Unless he can get those Zerglings in, or find a fight where the Stalkers get way too far forward. This is now herO's advantage, though certainly not a shoo-in for victory, as with this much Roachling Bane on the field, disasters can strike quite quickly. And another wave of Banelings. He blinks back every Stalker, holding some at the front, and he's just rolling on through. Warps in some more Stalkers. Dark he can't decide. The Banelings turn again. Where are the Banelings going? Using them like a meat shield. But herO's multi-tier defense, a Baneling actually ends up rolling around in the middle line. One more Baneling! But herO manages to mitigate the losses and only loses 11 probes throughout it. He does lose the 4th Nexus, but every time these attacks happen, herO ends up with a better unit composition at the end. He's gonna have +3. He's getting double Robo Colossus with extended thermal. Why am I gesturing so much? I don't know. Extended thermal lance today. It's an exciting day, okay? And this is a lot of drama. Though relatively typical, Dark is just coming up a little short on these attacks. There's still, if herO doesn't micro near perfectly, herO, the reason that herO is consistently one of, if not the best Protoss in the world, is for every major mistake he makes, he plays a dozen fights beautifully. It's those major mistakes that add the contrast to the near perfect micro when it does get pulled off there. And we saw a multi-tiered Blink Stalker defense while doing a fighting retreat from like 3 dozen Banelings, which sounds way more dramatic than 36, I might add. If you measure things in dozens, that's how you know. Speaking of Banelings, though, Dark is coming in, both sides. Stalker blinks in, but oh no! Oh no! Brenda, it's on time! Kill them all! Susan, holy shit. The Colossi are obliterated on the field. The Queen's able to knock them to the ground. And the Stalkers, how many Colossi are left? Just 1 survivor. We gotta go back. We gotta look at the hero cam for that. Watch the darkness encroach. I need to see this from herO's perspective. He sees the Banelings coming in. He's actually got great vision on the minimap. He's like, all right, we're gonna deal with the Banelings. But now he makes the key mistake. It's like, oh no, he wanders a little far forward onto the creep. And the Queens are able to catch the Stalkers on the wrong side. The Colossi, as is so customary, getting easily distracted. And Dark takes advantage. The Banelings were a distraction, but they kept him so busy. I think herO made a mistake on not walling off that side of the mineral line. And now, well, 1 Colossus isn't enough. The Queens are marching forward, trying to hit the War Prism. A big stasis there. The stasis may be enough to help, and herO's feeling a little desperate. He's now down 30 workers. Dark found the fight. herO wandered onto the creep, and it looks like he may not be stepping off. Juggling the Colossus back. Beautiful micro so far. He's got 3-1 against just +2/+1. Attack upgrades. The Colossus and the War Prism. It goes down. The ankle-biting Zerglings rip it down. And the War Prism is a strong or even weak gust of wind or undercurrent here on Oceanborn, away from destruction. And Dark, he takes that tough position. He sweeps the leg. All of the Colossus and Stalker legs. All right. Too many legs. The only units that are strong with more legs, Zerg units. All right. All the Protoss units that have lots of legs, the weakest ones. The less legs they have, the stronger they are. All right. Carriers, no legs. Archons, none. All right. High Templar, technically have legs, but they're mostly for show. It's just science. All right.
The numbers don't lie.
Speaking of disruptors, on the way. The Stalkers surround. They jump on the grenade. Bit unnecessary, that one, but He's been traumatized by banelings before. We're not done yet. But now Dark has Vipers. The Vipers could counter any of those Robo Bay units. Just Robo in general. Pulling out Disruptors, Colossi. Adept's gonna... he's doing Adept... Not even close. Adrenal glands on the way. Dark's got all the fixins now. All the stuff that he couldn't really get before. And here come the Vipers. They'll dance away from the Ruptor. Oh. Loses one Viper. Parasitic Bomb onto the Lord Prism. It dies. hero has a sizable army, but there's not enough Ruptors. He used both. Blinding Cloud is the call. The Banelings roll in. And the probes roll out. GG. Dark strikes back. In game 2. Hero overrun. And hero's playing a great game there, but it's a precarious one. When you're relying on the Blink Stalkers, and you're relying on Colossi, some of the most fragile units when caught out of position. And Dark forced him to get caught out of position. He made the mistake of wandering a little far forward onto the creep. And he suffers for it. Still, though, hero, again, playing so well. Right up until one disastrous, and mistake is maybe a bit strong, but one disastrous moment. And that means we're all tied up 1-1. Dark versus hero. Going into Sight Delta. The premonition. It feels like whenever the game goes on long enough, Dark will find at least one of those moments. Now, whether it's enough to turn the game around completely really depends. It's not always like that. But in this case, such a decisive victory on the field translated into a complete reversal. And I stand by, hero was ahead. If Dark doesn't kill probes and the core parts of the army, just one of those two is not enough. All right? I crunched the numbers, not enough. So, but if he gets a chunk of the economy and a chunk of the army, well, winning on both fronts. So apparently we're doing pylon walls now in Protoss versus Zerg. I don't know, that's what we're doing. I don't know when that happened. Most players historically have considered them too vulnerable to things like Ravager and Baneling all-ins. But it's not like Dark has been known to do Ravager or Baneling all-ins before. Get off my creep! Yes, kind of died. Sorry. Adept just dies. I think partially hero wanting to scout every bit of the creep just in case of said Ravager or Baneling Omen. I can never be too careful. You can definitely be too careful. That's a lie. In fact, being too careful is oftentimes what ends up getting you killed, especially against a player like Dark. Who you can't really let go for too long. Which is why, so far, hero has had success with that timing attack, but struggled with the longer game. Dark is the kind of player who, like, if you're both in the car together and you're driving because you're ahead, he will grab the wheel and turn you off a bridge and hope that he's the one who survives drowning. That is a regular occurrence in these games where we just end up in these crazy situations. So far, no base trades, really, explicitly, but it's going to be Twilight Forge behind Quicker Lair for Dark this time around. Not quick. It's still going to be like 4.5, 5 minutes in. He's got plenty of queens to politely yet firmly Ask the oracles to leave. Dark targets onto the bruised oracle here. Oracle's taking a lot of damage. Gets 5 rounds, but a lot of damage taken. Still alive though, so Revelation is still on the table. Blanking +1. Yep. 2 gases at the natural. Dark just now taking those extra gases. Oracle, hello. Sir? This is a message from the Hatchery Owners Association, HOA. There will be no more trespassing, or I will send you a very mean letter. And possibly some banelings inside of it. Brenda, that was such a low effort response. Are you low on energy? Well, yes, actually. It was rhetorical. I was just asking how you were. You're supposed to say it's fine, okay? Not, actually, I have an existential crisis. Like, why are any of us even here? Brenda. Oracles. And a Templar Archives. Looks like Storm is on the horizon. Not as good as the StarCraft 1 Storms as we've seen in the StarCraft Evo mod lately. In fact, it looks... For a second, I thought he was just going to go with the Archons. But there's the Storm research. Storm, a lot more reliable than Colossi, but a significantly greater expense is why we'll sometimes see the Colossi instead of Storm. It makes you a little more vulnerable in the later game because just affording Templar and Storm and keeping them alive for enough energy is sometimes a harder proposal than just pumping out the Robobane. But I think Storm, especially against the mass Roachling Bane sort of style, is a much more reliable option. The big weaknesses are, well, quick lurkers. Lurkers vulnerable to Storm, but it really depends, as they can outrange much of the rest of the army, so it's hard to capitalize. Also, technically Swarm Hosts and Brood Lords, but those are much greater investments, as well as just taking a lot more time to come online. So it looks like lurkers, or at least Hydraling Bane, is on the agenda. No, there's the lurker. I was wondering, duck. Hydras are good, lurkers much better. Especially with no immortals on the field, it's really hard to capitalize, even if you get some amazing storms. But Storm is done, and lurkers are not. So that means a potentially disastrous fight well, here we go. Dark is coming around both sides. The Templar at the back, but Dark is coming in from as many angles as possible. Gets a Storm on the center mass of the Banes. Most of them evaporate. The Queen's on the back line. +1 armor done, and I don't think that was a decisive victory here for Dark. Gets one of the Archons. Stasis catches a single Zergling. Stalkers blink down. So, the Storm's not enough in order to win the fight, but they certainly helped not lose it. Which is better than that could have gone for hero, stepping that far towards the Zerg. But overall, still, I think Dark got the better end of that one, especially in terms of gas. 1,500 to 500 gas traded out. Hero on the losing end. And now we've got 14 Hydralists. A Lurker upgrades on the way. Dark is going for Lurker burrow speed first in this case, as opposed to Lurker rage, which really tells you how aggressive he wants to get. The Stalker's really struggling too. The Zergling's getting this around. Where are the rest of the units for Hero? Here's some of the Templar, but the Banelings come in, get one of them. Still 3 Templar remain. +2 ground weapons about to complete for Hero if he has any units with which to use it, but now Dark has double the army supply. 102 to 50. Hero actually has a few more workers. He's got 4 bases online. He's working on +3 weapons and +2 armor. But Dark will have 10 lurkers or so. Adrenal glands. His upgrade's a bit lackluster, but it's more about the unit composition right now. The longer it goes on, the easier it is for hero to stabilize. But he needs to survive the first wave of lurkers, and that's oftentimes the hardest part. He's got 2 robos on the way, but one of those robos about to be hit by lurker spines. The lurkers on top of everything. Dark a little far forward. He doesn't have range on the lurkers and is forced back by the overwhelming storms. There is no detection besides the revelation on the oracles. A few more stalkers trying to engage, but Dark maintains the supply lead. A lot of Templar holding for now. More lurkers on the way. Only 3 remain on the field. Immortals and observers in production. Blinks to the side, trying to snipe them off. Big storms, softening up the roaches. There's just those 2 lurkers. He's gonna fight them outright, but the Zerglings help to box out, and the lurker survives. More banelings coming in, but stop right there, criminal scum. The banelings shut down by the stasis. Counterattack. Zealots fighting outright. They should trade incredibly well against the Zerglings, but still. Oh, more lurkers coming up, and they do have range now. So many Zerglings being sent. Eventually, the Zealots will be overwhelmed, and the Banelings will continue their previous efforts. Roll in only 3 probes down, 78 to 77 lurkers. The exchanges will continue until morale improves, and morale is critically low on both sides. A single lurker and a whole bunch of Hydraling fighting on the right flank. The left goes to hero as he chases back the lurkers. He's gotten a lot closer in army supply. Now he's got immortals on the way. He held the most dangerous part of the game for the Protoss, the initial lurker wave. And now he has to capitalize on this situation as Dark comes in from either flank. A huge attack to the north side, as well as the Banelings roll in towards the 3rd. No Banelings on the 4th base, but the Zerglings will rip apart the Archons. Shield battery overcharge defends the left flank, but Dark is able to overrun the right. He's gonna kill 10 more probes. Looking for the surround and just runs to the back. Does he even have burrow for the lings? He doesn't. +2 melee, but soon to be +3 ground weapons for the Protoss. Hero maintains. Hero actually has more army supply now. And lurkers are not unstoppable. They're dangerous, they're frustrating, but they can be killed. They can be beaten. 15 probes down. The lurker's in quite a concave here. At least 1 on the high ground. He's got 6 lurkers in total. Some more coming down, but the storms blunting the effect of the Zerg, evaporating the Banelings before they come even close. And the lurkers are not able to close the distance. There's 5 immortals pounding their way through right now. And hero may have turned this around. Dark down to 140 supply. And the lurkers were not enough. They weren't enough on hero's side of the map. And Dark loses his 4th base. He has an alternative to the south, but hero's now mining from 5. Dark needs to find a way to turn this around now, or he's not going to turn it around ever. He's got no other tech besides a couple upgrades. The storms across the bow. Hero going into a large lurker line here. There's not much in front. The Zerglings now. Hero, that's so many. He's got three observers over the top. The Immortals are bashing through. And Dark is running out of options that don't involve 2 Gs on his keyboard. Where's the detection? There's the revelation. 9 Hydras popping out, but GG Hero powers through. And he takes it, bringing him to match point. What a solid game out of Hero. Beautifully done. Honestly, quite an impressive display. I really thought Hero was going to crumble to the lurkers. At least lose the base. But he held the line. He didn't overestimate. I think Dark going for lurker burrow speed instead of range may have cost him. The range allows you to force the issue. If you don't have the range, you have to get within storm range, which is dangerous. Hero with a very solid defense, which translates now into a 2-1 lead. But game 4 is on El Peony. Dark didn't go for the gold. Honestly, the gold base has been done so many times, it feels played out at this point. Almost every Protoss has a build set up, usually involving like a macro cannon rush. I'm all over the place today. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. Just don't say these things out loud. All right, keep them in your head. Always dangerous to know. Don't listen to the voices. My voice, though, just when I say like and subscribe. Oh my. Jimmy, just edit that last minute out, all right? We don't want to... Four Zerglings. Adept on the way. Stargate is the choice. We'll see what flavor it's going to be this time. The Blink Stalkers have served hero really well so far. But it's really the follow-up. The tech choices are the most important part. I mean, unless you could win the game with Blink Stalkers, as we saw in Ghost River, but he's actually doing a pylon block. Could you, sir, ma'am, whatever you want, it doesn't matter, robot, please, have some respect. They call themselves the firstborn, but they act like children. Okay, they're gone, all right? It's too late for a comeback like that. Oh, shut up, Karen. I know. Oracle is the choice. Looks like a more standard flavor. Adept's gonna hang out at the Watchtower. That is not a wall in the right? You can just get in. What? I swear, Dark thought so too. He's like, wait a second. Meanwhile, though, oh no! Dark losing a lot of drones here. 6 drones down, 7. And even though both adepts are killed, 7 drones? Oh my god! Look at the timing! It's 29 to 37 drones. That's devastating economic damage. That's why I was so dramatic about it. Is losing drones below 30? You can't afford that. He may never financially recover from this. Hero gets in. I think Dark thrown off by the pylon block. Like the delayed pylon block of the natural. Kind of skewing the timings. And now the Oracles get both creep tumors. They get 2, 3 extra drones. And another couple extra on top of... Oh my god. Oh. Boo. Oh, no, we can't boo. I'm a professional. You don't boo. Shame. Wow. 1 HP Oracle gets out. Oh, that is, a frustrating moment for the final boss. 3 Oracles, the Triumvirate assembled. Dark desperately trying to get drones out, but Hero is looking for a bookend build here. He's adding on a bunch more gates. He doesn't have a forge. He's gonna follow this up. Wait, where's the Blink? He didn't research Blink. Hero forgot Blink. Oh my god. There we go. A little bit late. He had the resources. Oh, he did get a forge. Obviously. Wow. The Oracle Micro continues to be incredibly effective. How many drones? He's killed 23! He recalls the Oracles out of vision, so Dark doesn't even know. Gonna build a shield battery or 2. He's just he's like, I did so much. You have to all in, right? Dark is going the complete other direction. Is this Overlord just hanging out here? I think Hero just realized as well. Dark gets supply blocked from losing that Ovi. Oh, this is one of those games where just nothing can go right, and then it just keeps going more wrong. Gets supply blocked. He doesn't have a lair. He's getting double Eva. It's a disaster. He's now building it Amnesia Lords. I guess those are regular lords. The amnesia lords, of course, when you get supply blocked. So you build overlords, and then 20 seconds later, right before the overlords finish, you look, you're still supply blocked. You build more overlords, and then end up at 87 over 184 supply. Like, I'm just planning for the future. Not quite that. So it's not that. I'm just describing that term. +1 ground weapons done now. Dark at 68 rounds, almost a perfect number, but Revelation, the fact that there's not a lair should make hero so confident. In fact, he's taking the gold. Is he gonna add on a Templar Archives or a Robo, or is he just gonna go? How many gates? Only 6. So I think he's looking for tech. The only downside here for hero is the lack of production. Wow, this is so... Don't do it. Hero, don't do it. This is the only way he could really screw himself over here, is by getting so greedy that Dark is able to kind of surpass him on the ground. It looks like he wants to take another 4th base, or a 5th base in this case. He's thinking about it. He's getting 3 more gates, though, first, as he realizes basic math exists. Infestation Pit for Dark. Not sure if that's for Swarm Hosts, which have made many more appearances in the last few months than we've seen in years before that, or if he's just going to rush out the Hive. And there he is, 700 in the bank. Ultras and Vipers? That's certainly one way to deal with Mass Gateway. So Hero still does not have anything but Gateway tech. Gateway and Twilight. He has no... It's just mass gateway. He has no Templar Archives. He's got no Robo at all. He's got obviously no Robo Bay then. There's the Templar Archives. And Dark is actually completely unaware of this. And now, he didn't even take down the rocks in the center. He was working on the rocks on the other side. The Zerglings went around. There's multiple stasis wards at the back. That one's a big one. Now, Baneling speed isn't done, but Dark still has so many lings. Hero gonna work his way forward. Blunks forward, using the stasis Zerglings as a force field. An incredibly effective strat. Meanwhile, another stasis catches a big group of lings. +2 ground weapons done for Hero. The Baneling speed, 12 seconds out. The Zerglings and slow Banes off a creep just aren't getting the job done. The Queens, Lings, and Banes. And so many Zealots stuck behind as well. Triggers another stasis. Looking to overrun. Crashes into the Zealots. It's just Zerglings left behind. The Hive has been done. No Adrenal Glands on the way. He starts it now. But Hero has the supply lead as the Protoss with superior upgrades, which does not bode well for the final boss, as this final phase of the attack will commence. Dozens more Lings and Banelings on the way. But Hero's critical mass. He has enough Stalkers to protect some of his Stalkers from the Zerglings, as they can body block the Stalkers in the center. Once you get a few dozen of them here, that's when it really starts to be an effective composition, assuming there aren't enough Banelings to just crash through and take advantage of it. So there's another stasis at the back, and Dark getting caught yet again. And a few Zealots have split off and head towards the center, the natural, just whatever they can get. And right now, Dark really can't afford to split his units at all. Archons. They've arrived, and the power is absolutely overwhelming. GG, Hero with a decisive victory. He takes it 3-1. Which brings us into our bonus game, which is also Dark versus Hero. They've played like 30 times in the last week. But Hero with another... Wow, Hero has Dark's number lately. These gateway timings just decisive. And a surprisingly... I guess it's not surprising. Hero was still the best Protoss in Korea, arguably the world, since Max Packs is Dark on another computer. But... and doesn't play in offline tournaments. But God, this is some real sharp play. And Dark, unable to drag the games into chaos. No real crazy cheeses or anything. Unlike in our bonus game here. Which, now let me know if a bonus game of the exact same players is confusing. Because people skipping forward to the end may be very confused. But why are you skipping forward is my question. You didn't even like and subscribe, and now you're just trying to spoil yourself? And again, hero takes the victory. I don't know about this game. I was just recommended this game individually from a series that was significantly short. But it looks like Dark attempted to go for a proxy hatch. Hero blocked it. The macro proxy hatch, like one of those to just block the expansion. But since Hero was able to stop it, he settled for stealing his gas guys. Well, I'll get something out of it, which technically correct. I'm really hoping, I don't know who else at this stage, like who else is going to teach us to deal with that early Protoss pressure, if not Dark. Cyril only plays in the most even before his military service, only played in the most high profile of tournaments. So, not really and also very, very hard to actually replicate. And also when I asked Cyril, how does he feel about ZVP? He pretty much said the early game is just annoying and you have to deal with it. Well, the adepts coming in and poking and prodding, the workers and the oracles flying by, you just hope to absorb the damage and come out the other end with enough intact, but more gates on the way. The gas guys are the natural was taken. Wow, he just built a Twilight at the low ground here. Hero going for the pylon block. It's going to be an adept claves rush. It's an old build, but it checks out, and I think was somewhat encouraged by Dark's acquisition of the gas guys in the main. A big roachling attack. Well, he sees the Twilight. He knows it's not a Stargate, so you need roaches and lings. Is he that convinced it's not DTs? I can't, but like Dark has not even built a spore. He is 100%. I guess he saw many other warpins here. Oh, it's gonna get weird. The Zerglings are on the wrong side. Well, it depends on your definition of the wrong side, because there's not gonna be any warpins. Here are the adepts. Oh god. A double Stargate behind. More on that after we see whether the adept glaives are enough to just end the game themselves. Corrosive Bile misses the mark, but zones the adepts out a little. Meanwhile, the Zerglings will force the cancel or just kill the base. No, cancel at the last moment. Adept shade in towards the main. They're on top of the mineral line. Dark only has 30 drones. So he really needs to clean this up and then head across the map to do damage. But he did deny the third. So again, Hero gets critical damage against the drones. But this time around, there's not much of a response to the Ravager Ling. He's building Phoenixes, which I guess you could end up picking up the Ravagers or something at some point. He's expecting Dark Templar behind. Now he's building Spores, which will further cut into his economy. But Hero putting up the defenses. Multiple shield batteries on the way. Adepts will shade out. I don't think he's going to complete... If he completes that shade, that could lose him the game. He knows how many roaches and lings are out there. Well, now Ravagers. He can't risk it. But at the same time, he wants to threaten Dark with the ability to shade by. He needs to keep Dark from breaking through. I can't believe we're seeing Phoenixes. I guess they make sense, but Oracles and Void Rays are a much more direct response, but Phoenixes actually could help out a lot more in the long term, especially by preventing any other sort of options. And Hero's even on supply. And the yeah, go home. Yeah, get out of here. See what happens. No. He uses all his corrosive biles. Eats a hit. Wow. This is just bullying. The Ravagers look so stressed out. All units have trouble when Phoenixes pick them up like that, but the Ravagers just, my God. Oh, sweet Tassadar. Well, the drone. I don't think Hero didn't notice them for a second. The drones in the little Reaper alley there. The Adepts shade all the way through. A bold move on top of all the Lings and the Roaches. The Corrosive Miles hitting both sides. The Lings are obliterated. But the Ravagers and the Roaches, the Queens, a confusing exchange. But now Hero lost every single unit on the ground. And now he's just, Brenda, you flew! Oh, where'd she go? The Queens are flying again. Corrosive Vials, not a long-term response. I'm not sure how Dark plans to deal with this. He's just kind of sitting around watching his units die. He's now sending the Roaches across. He has a lair. He's getting Roach speed and Burrow, which tells a story. There's a dozen Phoenixes just slowly but surely whittling away. That's enough to just have constant lifts now. The Roach count. Again, a game where Hero feels like he was in control of the situation the entire time. And now that's way too many Phoenixes. Wow. Another decisive victory out of Hero. Definitely something different than we saw in the main series, but Hero just has Dark's number at the moment. He's the final boss, not because he wins everything, but because he makes it dramatic. But Hero seems to have figured out those phases and dealt with it accordingly. So hopefully it made your day a little bit better, especially for those Protoss out there who've been struggling a bit. And hopefully you enjoyed watching. And if you got the means of motivation, be awesome to check out Patreon or YouTube membership. But I hear liking and subscribing is still free for now. Thank you for watching. If you haven't yet checked out the second channel, by the way, Winter Gaming, or Winter Gaming TV, you can find the info in the description. Does anybody read that, Jimmy? It doesn't. Just put it there. You can find more of me playing StarCraft 1 versus StarCraft 2, just more streams and all that stuff in general, if you want more content. But otherwise, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.